Do this to fix your jaw.
Okay, let's try.
I look stupid. I think I broke mine.
That's not good. No, but for real though, you literally should never move your jaw in a lateral way. See, your lower jaw is a ball and socket joint that moves up and down. It does have some lateral side to side, but if you go too far, bad things can happen. And by bad things, I mean this part, the little condyle, can snap in half. Also, you can stretch out the ligaments holding it in place, and then if they get too loose, you're gonna end up with some clicks and pops and some TMJ issues like, this girl had here. Now, if you actually have a jaw issue, like a lock jaw, you actually want to push down on the back teeth and rotate it to try and pop it back into place. Side to side, it's probably not going to help you in that case. Hope that helps.
I could not take the pain no more. I went to go get wax. Comes with two. So we just grab like a bolita and then like twist it. I don't know if you guys can see. There. Oh my god, that feels so much better. It doesn't get stuck no more.
Wax is awesome. It's actually really awesome. But the problem is it doesn't stick, and it's not that good all the time. So here's a couple tips that'll make it work way better. One, dry off the area. Use like a little cotton towel or paper towel or something. Dry it off. That's gonna help it stick way, way, way better. Also, there's some great alternatives to wax out there that actually just work way better. Like Orthodots is a really good one, and Gishy Goo is another really good one. Last little tip is you can put it under hot water and get it really moldable and nice and gushy before you put it on there. That'll help it stick and kind of form way better too. Bye!
I do not have 3 front.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I never noticed that about you, Sebastian. But for real though, what's going on? How does this happen? Well, there's 2 things that can cause this, but the number 1 thing is losing a baby tooth too early. See, your baby teeth are meant to hold the space for your permanent teeth. And if you lose a baby tooth too early, those teeth can shift. And if they shift, you end up losing that space of where it needs to go, and the teeth kind of shift to one side. So he probably lost a tooth on this side too early, the permanent teeth shifted over. This is why if I see that you've lost that particular baby tooth in the back on one side, we either pull the other side or we do something called a space maintainer. This involves 2 little metal bands and the wire goes around that holds that space so your permanent teeth can come up in the right spaces. You could also just be missing a permanent teeth and they shifted the same way. Either way, yes, braces or Invisalign can fix it and get it back to normal. Those teeth! Those poor teeth. Now this is exactly what I talk about when I tell people that sometimes when they go to other countries to get veneers, they're not really getting veneers. If you look at the before picture here, you can see that his teeth were crowded. Yeah, he could have had some braces and he could have straightened them up and we could have, done some stuff to get it all healthy. But instead, he went and got some stuff done and look how much they took off of his teeth. I mean, you are looking at these teeth, they are literally gone. They are a peg. They are maybe 1/3 of the shape of the tooth. That means all the enamel's gone. He's just sitting on dentin. And these are not veneers. These are full on crown. And listen, I get it. You want your perfect teeth. You want your bright white Hollywood porcelain veneer having smiles, but you can do that in healthier ways. I mean, we could have undone the crowding and then you could have gotten veneers or something like that instead of full crowns and ruin the teeth. Because if you take off that much tooth structure, you're gonna have to take care of that thing for a long time. And the chances of that tooth lasting your entire life is pretty bad in a big crown like that. There's just a tiny bit of tooth structure with the nerve just sitting right in the middle. Now, I'm not saying that there's dentists out there that don't do a great job, or even in fact is times that you want to do full mouth crowns and stuff, but not necessarily for everybody. The rules I always tell people is if you like the shape of your teeth and you got a little crowding, go get your braces and whiten your teeth, okay? If you just absolutely hate the shape of your teeth, then that's a whole different story, and then maybe crowns or veneers is probably good for you. So instead of going off to a different country and getting all your teeth shaved off, maybe go to a dental professional and ask them exactly what you can do for your smile, and make sure that you try and protect your teeth for as long as possible. What is going on with our tongue dentist? Well, in fact, you guys seem a little confused because in the comments, you guys don't know what's going on actually. You say, I'm so sorry, I love you, but has it always been like that? Can you not just exfoliate it or something? And then somebody else says, is it gonna hurt if you drink lemon juice? I get it, the tongue looks a little different, okay? I wouldn't say weird, it just looks a little different. And in fact, there's really nothing wrong with this tongue at all. It's actually a thing we call fissured tongue. And it's a completely benign, harmless, not painful thing that just happens in your tongue. I mean, it just is a little fissured tongue area. So it doesn't hurt when you eat. It doesn't cause any like acidic things. It's not like a cut. It's just the way that tongue was formed. The only negative about this is you can get some food and gunk stuck up in there, and it can cause like some fungal infections easier than others. But as long as you're brushing your tongue and you're doing a good job with your oral health cleaning, it really won't cause no problem at all. Just might look a little weird when you stick your tongue out at people, I guess.
My sister did this to my tongue when we were younger.
No, she didn't. You see, what this thing is on your tongue is actually what we like to call a fissured tongue. You know, whatever your sister did to you when you were young did not cause this. 1, it's genetic. 2, it's more common in males. And 3, all you need to do is just make sure you clean it really good. It happens in about 10 to 20% of people. And surprisingly, adding sour things or anything like that doesn't hurt at all. Hope that helps. I'll tell you what it is. It's not good. Nah, I'm just playing. But for real though, what is this thing on his gums? Well, this thing is actually what we like to call a parulus. Parulus? Common name for it is gum boil. You see, when your teeth get infected, that infection goes from the inside or the pulp down to the roots of the teeth. And if you didn't know, at the bottom of each root, there's a hole, and that hole leads out to the nerves and blood vessels and all that stuff. Well, that infection goes from the teeth and leaks out the bottom and just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually it's gotta go somewhere. So eventually your gums have a blowout, and then that infection goes ahead and pops out into your mouth. Basically, long story short, you got an infection. You got an infection you gotta take care of.
After all this time, I'm still into you. I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. I'm into you.
Brooke, I am ashamed. But she's right. If you don't wear your retainers, your teeth move, and when you go back in, it's gonna hurt. Lucky for her, she didn't wait too long, and she could actually get them in, making her teeth move back to where they started. Problem is, if you don't wear your retainers for too long, then your teeth, well, won't fit in the retainers, and then your only option is to get braces back on to move them. So even if you're weirdly into pain like this, wear your retainer. Holy white spots! And a lot of you guys tag me in this saying, Bentis, look, she wasn't taking care of her teeth, she has white spots. And that's actually not the case. Because you can actually get white spots on your teeth for a couple different reasons. In the comments section, it seems like everybody agrees that they say, I also have fluorosis. They think that this is actually fluorosis. And while it could be, I don't actually think it is. Now, fluorosis itself is more of a generalized approach, and for what that is if you have a high content of fluoride in your water, maybe you drank well water as a kid or whatever growing up, and it causes the enamel to grow actually harder and stronger with fluoroapatite versus hydroxyapatite, causing a generalized white splotching all over your teeth. You see, this is actually what fluorosis looks like. A lot of white specks all over your teeth. Now, these teeth are very hard, they very rarely get cavities, but they don't look as perfect as just naturally normal enamel. Now, if you look at her picture, you actually only see 2 little white spots. The rest of her teeth look completely normal, but those 2 little white spots are the only difference. So what gives? What's different about this one? Well, more than likely, this probably isn't fluorosis as much as it is actually trauma to the baby teeth while the permanent teeth were forming. In fact, one of the comments in here actually said, I have this, but it was because when I was a kid, I hit my tooth with a scooter. And that's actually what happens. You have your baby teeth in there, you fall and you hit your front teeth, and then that just happened to be at the exact moment that your tooth was forming at that layer, and then it causes that enamel to get a little wonky. And so normally when I see little spots like that are just on one tooth or the other tooth, it's because either they got sick as a kid and it affected the formation in the enamel tooth, or they got hit or some type of trauma happened to the baby tooth that caused that to happen on the permanent tooth. Now, this is completely different than white spots on braces, which look like this because you just let cavities and stuff eat away at your teeth, because that's not good. This stuff is completely normal. It's not going to harm the tooth at all, and in fact, in fluorosis, it even makes the tooth a little bit stronger. Stop that! You stop that right now! But Bentis, I want the pretty colors. No, you don't. You don't want what's coming to you. You see, there's a reason why we wait to put power chains on. Because bad things happen if you put them on at the wrong time. You see, when you put the power chain on, when the wire is not strong enough, things happen to the teeth, okay? They start to go like this. They just collapse on each other. And those straight, perfect teeth you have will become crowded again. And even worse, some other bad jaw issue things can happen. That's why we have to build up the wires over time to strong rectangular wires that can handle the forces to close the gaps in your teeth. If you just want colors, just ask them for the little O ties. Those won't have any negative forces on your teeth at least.
If you have braces, okay, and you're about to get them off, or you already have them off, and they give you this retainer, guard this with your life. Never miss a day.
I tried to tell you, but nobody listened. It's almost like we give you a retainer to retain your teeth. But anyways, fun fact, actually you don't have to wear it every single night forever. You see, your teeth sit inside the bone and they're connected by thousands of little bungee cords. So let's say that I'm a crooked tooth. I'm turned sideways and I turn this away. Those bungee cords attached to me will stretch along with me. When your braces are done and we release them from their braces prison, what happens? Those bungee cords try and stretch you back and take you from straight all the way back turned again. Now after years of wearing your retainer, I'm talking like 5 years plus, those bungee cords start to loosen up a little bit and they're not as tight anymore. So when you're 5-10 years down the line, you don't have to wear it every single night. You could probably even get away with 2-3 times a week, even longer down the line, 15 years, maybe once a week. But until that happens, you need to wear your retainers every night.
I saw someone try to take a shot of lemon juice without triggering the filter, so that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I just do it really fast, like this. Stop! No!
Oh, my cheeks just hurt watching this. But anyways, did you know that acid is actually way bigger of an issue for your teeth than sugar? Sugar can cause cavities, but acid actually can cause erosion of the enamel. Also, one of the worst acids you can get is carbonic acid, which is actually the carbonation in drinks. Yeah, I hate to break that one to you. Let's be real though, I know you're not gonna stop drinking carbonated beverages, so just make sure you rinse your mouth out with water a couple times a day, and you'll probably be just fine. I don't know what Teen Titans episodes you've been watching, but I tell you what, us dentists, we don't eat your teeth. That's just weird. But what we do is actually a little weirder than that. You see, that is something to think about. You know, where does the teeth go? After you remove it, you pull it, whatever, we just throw it down in the garbage and we just get rid of it? Well, there's a lot of weird things we do. First, we can give them back to you. Sometimes you guys are weird and you're like, hey, I want my broken tooth in half, or I want my wisdom tooth, or I want whatever. So we put it in a little baggie and we give it to you. And number two, we can't just throw these in the garbage because they are technically biohazardous waste. So we have to put them in a biohazard container and we have to dispose of them properly that way. Or we get to a little weird stuff. You see, if you want to be a dentist, you got to become a dentist. And so you go to what we call dental school and you need to practice on something. And we don't want to just throw you in drilling and filling on real people, do we? So we got to give you some teeth to work on before that. Now they do have these plastic teeth. They're called Typodon teeth. They're in these little guys called busters, which look creepy, but you can also put a real tooth in there so you get the feel of what it feels like to drill on a real tooth. And that's exactly what we do in dental school. We practice on these real teeth, the fake teeth, and everything in these little mannequins until we're proficient enough at it to do it on a real person. But how does the dental student get all these teeth? Well, they collect them in a giant jar of bleach. Yeah, that's right. There's dentists out there, and probably your dentist right now has a jar full of bleach in their office that they have a bunch of teeth in. In fact, this is what a teeth-filled jar of bleach looks like. It's pretty common. You'd be surprised how many teeth jars are out in this world. In fact, I had one, I probably had 500 teeth in that thing, and we have to sort through them because, you know, you may have to be doing a filling on your front tooth or a back tooth or a molar or whatever, and so you need all types of teeth to be able to practice your dentistry. So no, we don't eat your teeth after the appointment. We just save them in a jar and we just look at them and let them age and get all nasty in a jar full of bleach. Isn't that nice?
Why do I have to use these rubber bands in my mouth? These hooks are used for bands just like these. These bands are used to correct an overbite. They can also be used to correct an underbite as well. But why do other brackets still have these hooks on them if I'm not using them? Well, that's for extreme cases just like this. But please do not use more rubber bands than your orthodontist recommends.
He's right. Rubber bands are used for a lot of different things. They're used to correct your jaw if you have a class 3 bite or a class 2 bite to move your jaw back into the place that it needs to be. But what are the extra hooks for? Well, sometimes we want to go up and down. Sometimes we want to go crisscross. You've got a lot of different bite issues and we got to move teeth in a lot of different directions. So we need a lot of hooks. And the last thing he actually said was really important. He said, don't overwear your rubber bands or don't wear them too many or anything like that versus what your orthodontist tells you. And there's reasons for this. One, if your orthodontist tells you to wear a rubber band all the time, it's because we want to move the teeth. See, it takes 8 hours of force on a tooth before it even starts to move. And so if you don't wear it 8 hours and then onward, the teeth won't move. A lot of people wear it 8 hours at night and they don't wear it anymore. more, so you're just at the point where it's about to start moving, and then you stop and let it reset, meaning that you never will get that progress. 2, we tell you to wear one rubber band at the strength and size that we give you for a reason. You see, if you go too far or too heavy over there, if you double up your rubber bands, sometimes you can put too much pressure on a tooth, and that tooth will actually stop moving because of this. That's right, if you wear too much rubber bands, your teeth will stop moving. So in the end, just wear the rubber bands exactly like your orthodontist told you to, and you'll be just fine.
Mum, try my candy apples. I think we might need to work on them a little.
If they could make one food item that's a dentist's nightmare, it's that. You just hear the noise when you open your mouth. The funny part is we use that same type of material actually to remove crowns. Like that sticky stuff she's like breaking off of her teeth. You make a non-sugary version of it. It's like a little green cube. You put the block on the back of your teeth and you bite down and you open up. It pops the crown right out. If you don't believe me, take a look at this video. See, he just like right now, you know, and then just pops it right out. It's pretty easy actually. See, but the thing is, we mean to do that, and you're gonna accidentally rip your own crown out using that candy apple. Happy holidays. Oh man, those are definitely not squirrels in your pants. So in her caption and comment, she said, I need help with this canker sore. And while it looks similar to a canker sore and they're both really painful, that is a big one. And that is definitely not just a canker sore. This is actually what we call thrush, also known as a yeast infection for your mouth. Yeah, it's basically a fungal infection of your mouth that causes the top tissue to slough off and become really, really painful. And it hurts really, really bad. Really got 2 options here. If you want to go the home remedy route, you can rinse your mouth out with some salt water, or if you want to go the medical route, you need to talk to your doctor and get like a fungal script or something to basically make it go away. These happen due to an overgrowth of bacteria called Candida albicans, which is the white stuff that's on your tongue. Yeah, it basically overgrows and then just a fungal infection happens. It normally happens due to your immune system being a little bit compromised, so I would definitely have